A methamphetamine epidemic is ravaging the Kingdom of Tonga, and authorities are struggling to cope with the drug's destructive effects. In the Pacific nation, with a population of just under 110,000, the highly addictive drug we know here as P has penetrated all levels of society, officials tell One News. Almost 100 arrests have been made in the past 6 months by a special task force set to deal with the problem. Also, up to 70% of all mental health patients are addicts. In a special investigation, One News gained exclusive access to one of Tonga's 5 major drug syndicates. In the first of a 2-part series, Pacific correspondent Barbara Drever looks at how the drug gangs operate and who they target.
On this quiet street, 2 meth houses stand just 30 metres apart. This isn't unusual. Ice, or tutu as it's known locally, is everywhere.
This country is hooked on drugs. There's no doubt about it.
Methamphetamine is sweeping through villages, destroying families and communities.
We are not prepared well to face this tsunami.
One News has been given an inside track on how one of 5 major meth syndicates on Tongatapu operates. The group, which distributes to dealers in 7 villages, as well as individuals, imports kilos of methamphetamine from Sydney.
There are people in government that brings the thing over, and I just distribute to the village. Our stuff comes in containers. The people there operating, they know, and they let it out.
It sells for 400 to 600 Tongan paanga for a gram. That's 300 to 400 New Zealand dollars. Most of the dealers are armed.
Some of the weapons come from America and also the Chinese people. They bring them in from China mixed in with imported goods.
While the better quality meth is imported, small labs are springing up around the island.
A lot of little labs are making their own version of it, but it's not actually the right ingredients, so they mix it up and deal it to villages.
Most of the small and mid-level dealers in Tonga are also users. We're told those involved can be found in every level of society. That's echoed by Dr. Mapapoloka, who works with addicts.
In some church, ministers involved too.
In the dealing?
In the dealing, trafficking.
Also involved, civil servants, politicians, traditional leaders, customs, and even the police are not immune.
We need people with courage, integrity, because network of dealing drugs, they have the money, they have the people, and they are very strategic and powerful.
Since April, a special drugs task force set up to deal with the kingdom's meth problem has made 96 arrests, most in the capital Nuku'alofa, with bus in these urban areas.
I'm very worried about it.
Increasing numbers of criminal deportees from Australia and the US help set up the local drug trade.
When they arrive in the border of Tonga, then we are not well-resourced. We are not well prepared.
Tonga's long been a major transit point for drugs heading to Australia and New Zealand. Now it's also a destination.
These syndicates take the opportunity to make money from the local market which they've created, where there's a weak economy. They're seen as easy targets.
Even Tonga's children are being targeted.
The usage of meth in Tonga is rampant to the point where dealers are encouraging kids to try it because they know that they'll have a client for life.
This woman, who didn't want to be identified, knows firsthand her loved ones are involved, but it's also done in the clear light of day.
The police have got 2 cars. They are selling drugs just beside the schools.
Even cyclone-damaged Farsi Primary School, where Jacinda Ardern donated resources to earlier this year, is not exempt.
The pupils here are now forbidden from leaving the grounds at lunchtime. That's because the school found out dealers were waiting outside and offering the children small amounts of cash to make meth deliveries in town.
For this small island nation, the growing scourge of meth is devastating. Tonga now coming to grips with its new title, the Kingdom of Ice.
And Barbara is with us. Now, why should New Zealand be concerned about this, Barb?
Well, we've already seen New Zealand's biggest meth bust in Northland last year, 500 tonne of meth, and there were Tongans involved there. In May this year, a man was arrested at Tonga's main international airport with more than $1 million of meth on him, his destination, New Zealand. So we're already seeing the impact here. But the fear is that while Tonga's meth labs at the moment are very small and very basic, I'm told the quality is terrible, that will change. And when it does, we can expect to see that and other illegal substances on our market here in New Zealand.
And you've got more on this tomorrow, Barb.
Yes, absolutely. We are looking at more revelations from the drug syndicate on how it operates in Tonga, and also how some of the addicts are funding their problem. And there are some surprises there. We are also, more importantly, talking to Tongans themselves who are devastated at how their communities are being ripped raw by methamphetamine, and also by individuals, some of them very prominent, who are dealing in this. So there are Tongans fighting back, wanting to protect their families and their communities.
All right, thanks very much, Barbara Drever.